The voice of prophecy, warning the Western world today. At last, the time of God's direct intervention in human affairs is at hand. Mankind, cut off from God since the Garden of Eden, has been deceived by Satan for over 6,000 years. Many believe that given enough time and resources, men and women can solve even their most intractable problems. History and current world affairs would seem to prove otherwise. Now, in the 21st century, humanity stands on the brink of a precipice, about to plunge into an endless abyss. God created us. Only God can save us through the power of his Son, our soon-coming King, Jesus the Christ. May God grant you love, peace, and understanding. Amen.
Right, well, I've just come out of the co-op and you can see I'm on the back side of the new Lincoln Central car park. Right, well, I'm going to try and get back to my car, which is in Hermit Street. I've just been to the post office to post some of my magazines off to White House, Downing Street and Sandringham. So hopefully they'll get there for Christmas. Bye for now. Right, so this is the fourth batch of Voice of Prophecy magazines, the Last Great Day edition that I've made, and there are 10 in this batch, hopefully. I'm printing them here on my Canon printers, and it's quite a slow task actually. So this is the cover, which has the trademark lion signifying the return of Jesus Christ, and inside the introductory page, then the back inside page, and then the back page with various well-known world figures who I call icons. Then you've got page number 2. Actually, this is page number 3 because page number 2 is that inside page, and then several pages grouped together which I trim down, so that the next page, which is this one, so there's 3 pages there and there's 3 pages here, and these 3 pages slot in to these 3 pages. So going from page, I think that's page 8 to page 9, and then from finally to complete this copy of the magazine, the 2 inside pages. So you've got 15, 16, 17, and then the centerfold 18, 19, and then obviously the pages going on to the back 20 and so on. So here we are. That goes into the center of these 6 sheets that I've got here. So I've opened that, that's where that goes, and that inside our cover is the completed magazine. And the only thing that remains to be done is for it to be stapled together now. And I've got to the point where I'm wanting to trim all of these little bundles of pages down so that I can get rid of this protruding part of the pages, so that it's as near as possible flush. So what I'm going to do, I'll leave these ones here, and we'll start with this one, which is the only one here of this group of 20 that I'm doing that's got a cover. So I don't need to trim the cover. I'll take 3 of these pages, and then that's these. So start with the near side pages, if you like, put it that way, the lower and higher number pages, that's pretty much where we are, and we only need to, what we're trying to do is trim a little bit off so that when we put this cover on, the white bits aren't sticking out. So we'll just have a look. And we don't want to take too much off. I don't normally do it at this angle. I'm normally standing up, but I won't be in shot if I stand up. So pressure on the guide or plastic protecting rail. You can see it's just taken a thin sliver off. Now, one thing to remember when doing this is, I'm going to insert that in there. So that's pretty much, you can't see any white coming out there. And when I put the staples in, when I use the long arm stapler, which I've got back here, it actually tightens the whole of the magazine, so it will pull it in a little bit further. But generally speaking, you do have a little bit of white showing, which is not a problem. It's just I don't like it to be, it makes it actually more difficult to flip your way through the pages if they are sticking out in this way. So again, I'm just going to shave a bit off here, but I'm going to shave just a little bit more off, and I get a better purchase if I'm standing up. So I'm going to stand up this time, even though I'm out of shot. Make sure that's square, hold it firm, otherwise it will twist in the cutter. And there you see, they're just, those shavings are just a little bit thicker there. So then open this up. This is 3 more sheets to go into the center. By now, because I've done this so many times with this cutter, the blades are going to get dull. Again, look at that. That's keeping that almost flush there, which is nice to see. Okay then, final one, or final 2 sheets here. We can take a little bit more off again, because actually as you get nearer to the center of the pages, obviously the pages are pushing out a bit more from the center, so we need to take a little bit more off, but not too much. Okay, because we don't want to, and of course the inside pages of this, the center pages are black, so you can see where I've trimmed off the black there and how that is just a little bit thicker. And if I was just going to say, you don't want to take too much off, because you don't want to end up removing any of the text or the image that might be important to understand what's going on the page. So now, I won't say that's perfect, but what I will say is it's nearly perfect. That's good, that. And by the time you use the long arm stapler here, I can reach it now and staple this together. That's going to be a nice tidy little magazine. Bye for now. Okay, so I've got my pens now, and I bought all 3, red, black and blue. What I tend to do, here's the cover letter that I showed you earlier for Ellen DeGeneres, with that little box at the bottom which shows the recent events in Montecito in Santa Barbara in California. So having done that, folded that cover sheet, there's another one here, this one's for Dolly Parton. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign this here rather than at the bottom, and I'm just going to initial this card which says important message to mail handlers and admin staff. Please deliver the contents of this letter to the addressee or at the very least, notify the person of its arrival. Okay, and it says on your own head be it, because it is very important for whether the addressee or the recipient of this wants to treat it with any seriousness is up to them. That should not be a matter for a mail handler or admin staff or even an agent or manager, because it's not addressed to them. Okay, let me put this into this envelope now. So I think that's everything we need in there. There's no individual personal message other than what's written on the cover note. So I've sealed that now. The next thing that I do, just for a little bit of added security, get a little bit of sellotape. You don't want too much. That's come back on me, and that should be just the right length. Stick that there, so that just gives us a little bit more protection. Now, I did say I've got the label printed for Ellen DeGeneres. Here it is here. But before I put that on, let me just take that sheet. I need to put a return address on the back. Okay? Now these letters that go to the United States, because this one will be going to the United States, I've stuck that on there, cost about £2.27, I think, to go abroad, or it might be £2.57, I can't remember. So this one's for Ellen DeGeneres. We want to make sure we get the right label on. That's just a bit stuck there. Stick that over there. Probably stick it about 2/5 of the way down, 3/5 of the way, 2/5 of the way up, something like that. So that's stuck that on there. So we've got the address on. What I also do, if I haven't got it here actually, is stamp first class on there before I take it to the post office. So I've got to stick a stamp here. I do send them out first class. So that's got first class on it. And then I've got an airmail stamp. I will do it on here. Yes, that's right. So I'm going to stick it up here. What they tend to do at the post office is, so that's our completed letter, signed, sealed, but not yet delivered. So that's that one there, is for Ellen DeGeneres. And I mentioned earlier when I was filming, I've got a special one. It's not going to be one of these because I've already sent one of these to Oprah Winfrey. I've got a special 4-page A4 sized publication, which is aimed primarily at the general public, but I'm sending that in addition to Oprah Winfrey. But I haven't got that leaflet with me here. You can see the front page of it just displayed on the cover letter. So in this batch of 20, I think I've mentioned some of the names before. We've got Dolly Parton here, Ellen DeGeneres we've already done, Joanne Rowling, that's J.K. Rowling, Diane Julie Abbott, she's the Shadow Home Secretary, sorry, Anderson Cooper from CNN. We've also got, this is a very interesting person, Bernice Albertine King. She's Martin Luther King's daughter, one of his daughters. One of them has died, but she's alive, and she has a brother too. And her mother has died as well. Sidney Poitier is among this list. And just quickly flipping through one or two more, if I can. This is King Abdullah II, King Hussein of Jordan, just passed by. Gina Miller, who brought that case against the government regarding Brexit. As well as her, we've got Sharon Osbourne, Michael Richard Pence, who's the Vice President of the United States, Mary Louise Streep, that's Meryl Streep, Simon Cowell, Richard Charles N. Branson, don't know, I can't remember what the N stands for. Judith Olivia Dench, Judy Dench, Stephen Hawking. What else? Who else? Karen Elaine Johnson. Karen Elaine Johnson, anybody? Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg. And and then Robbie Williams, or should I say Robert Peter Williams, and Stella Nina McCartney. So there's a lot of people getting these in this batch round. Well, 20 to be a lot, 20 to be exact. And a special additional publication to go to Oprah Winfrey, following the what is it called? Montecito mudslides. Okay, let me get on. Bye for now. Okay, so I've done one letter, which is going to Ellen DeGeneres, but I forgot one important thing which I didn't do for this magazine, and that is I'm going to send this next one to Diane Julie Abbott, who's the Shadow Foreign Secretary in the UK Parliament. And what I do on each of these exclusive magazines going to specific individuals who are on what I call God's Holy Hit List is I actually sign their name inside it. I didn't do it with Ellen DeGeneres' one. I should have done. I've done it on the others, most of the others. In fact, I think all of the others, unless I forgot to do another one, which I may well have done. So I'm going to, as well as signing this sheet, I'm going to write, let's get this card to rest on. Just gives a bit more support. Diane J. Abbott. So I've written that in there. So there's no doubt as to who this magazine is meant to belong to. I'm going to initial this card. So that's going to go in with this letter. So I need to fold this again. You've seen this process if you've seen me do the letter for Ellen DeGeneres. We're going to put the exclusive magazine for Diane Abbott in there, Diane Julie Abbott, and then I need to sign this. It says from, and sign that. So you can see I have signed that. And then we need an envelope. This one's going to the UK because her address is a London address. It's actually going to the House of Commons. So there's the card for Diane. Here's the envelope, C5 envelope. Just put that in there. Lovely. Now, unfortunately, these you have to lick these. I should have a sponge with something on there, but I'm going to lick it. Now, this is an ideal way for a Russian agent, or perhaps any agent, doesn't matter what country. Why do we pick on the Russians? I don't know. To do away with an opponent, isn't it? Put some poison, maybe a bit of plutonium 11 or whatever it is they use these days, on the, I'll have to tuck that over, it's too long, on the gum of the envelope, and presto, that's got rid of 007 for you. So then we need to get Diane Abbott's address, which I have printed off already. There she is, Diane Julie Abbott. But before I put that on, as you may well know now, I do put a return address label on, which I've printed up. So I put that on here like this. That's on. And now I've got the actual address label, which, as I say, is going to the House of Commons, actually. Address 2, SW1A0AA. Stick that about 2/5 of the way up here. There we go. Now again, I'm going to send this first class. So it's first class post today. It's the 14th, although these are dated through the 13th of January 2018, but it's actually the 14th, Sunday the 14th of January 2018 today. And the first class post in the UK is £65. pence. I've no need to use the airmail sticker because it doesn't need to go by airmail. Probably go by train, or maybe even in a truck or a delivery van or lorry, as we call it here. So that's that one done, and all we need now, so we've got 2, is to do the other 18, in fact the other 19, because I've got the special letter for Oprah Winfrey to do. Bye for now. Right, well, as you can see, I'm at the Forum in North Highcombe. I've just been to the bank and put some of my cash in from busing last week, because I haven't really bussed this week. It's Thursday the 28th of December 2017, and I'm on my way to the post office, which is just up ahead here. Now, the reason I'm here today is I've got with me, I'll just show you, the next 16 copies of my Voice of Prophecy magazine that I've got here. They're going to people like Jeremy Corbyn, sending some abroad. One's going to Barack Obama. Can't get it out. You can see I've got a whole bunch of them. There's 16 in all. The brown ones, there's some brown ones in here, and they're mainly going abroad to America. There's one here for Jonathan Snow. Jon Snow, as you know, Channel 4 News. And all kinds of people. This one's to Christine Lagarde, she's the head of the IMF. Who else? Oprah Winfrey's getting one. Benjamin Netanyahu, look. Prime Minister of Israel. Anyway, I can't stand out here all day. I'm off in here. And it's going to take probably half an hour to get these, because I'm going to have the proof of delivery. Bye for now. Southern Ireland is that's classed as abroad, isn't it?
That's it, yeah, same as
There is one in there for Dublin.
Yeah, that one. Right, so. Lovely, thank you.
Well, thank you. Is it possible to have proof of delivery, or not proof?
Proof of posting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those new stamps.
That's not. No, it's not. And these are just standard first pass.
Yes, please. Yeah. Is it the same for Europe as it is for America? Although I don't think any of those are going to Europe.
No, Europe. So the Dublin one is 157.
Oh, right,
and then
okay.
all the other that are going rest of the world will be 227. So it will take me a few minutes to put these proof of posting through, I'm afraid.
That's right.
I'm just going to write Spain on there.
Oh yeah.
Because the postman, they get a bit thick
Yeah.
sometimes.
You said it. I didn't.
Well, we get the mail quicker.
Yeah. Well, good morning. It's just gone 11 o'clock and it's Saturday the 6th of January 2018, and I've been posting copies of the Voice of Prophecy to, this actually is the original edition from 2008, 2004, 2000. And I've been sending copies of these out to various leaders, world leaders, cultural, political, social leaders, and this is the first response that I've had back to, I think it was the second wave that I sent out, in which was included Leo Varadkar. So there's the labels that I've been using, and I've got a copy of that label that I sent out, and this is the first response. I'm pretty sure it's from Leo Varadkar because it's written in Gaelic, or Irish Gaelic. It's the Irish language, and it says from the office of the Taoiseach in English underneath. So I'm going to open this, and I'm waiting to see, because I've had one of these back to an early edition, about 10 years ago now, that I sent to Jacques Chirac, and he actually sent the whole magazine back with a covering letter in French. French is not a language that I speak very well, and I took his point that I sent him an English language magazine to a French-speaking nation. But this is written in English, and it's just really acknowledging receipt. It says, "I wish to acknowledge receipt of your correspondence of the 27th of December 2017 to the Taoiseach Leo Varadkar, TD," which I suppose stands for Taoiseach, and it's come from Mary Timmins, Assistant Private Secretary to the Taoiseach. So I'm very grateful for that acknowledgement of receipt, because that's all I can do. I can only send these magazines out with the message that I believe that God wants to be delivered to these individuals. And just a quick note, I've had requests from people for copies of this magazine, because I've put the pages of it, and the recent edition, this, as I mentioned earlier, is the 2004-2008 edition, but the Last Great Day edition, I put copies of that up on the Facebook page, the Voice of Prophecy Facebook page, and one or two people have said, could they get a copy of the magazine? But as I've pointed out in comments that I've made, and actually in messages that I've given, these magazines are specific and they're exclusive, really, to the individuals that they're sent to. They're very expensive to produce. Each one is handmade. You can see behind me some of the materials that I use to and equipment I use to put them together, and they're printed here. So they're not for general circulation, although the information is not secret. It is something I've made available on the Voice of Prophecy Facebook page. So if you're not seeing this on that page, go to that page and you can see all of the contents of the latest edition of this magazine and more by just searching through that site. And I do have a YouTube channel as well that you can check out. It's not the Voice of Prophecy YouTube channel, but if you go to Phil J. Gray, you'll see some information about me and other things that I do besides produce the Voice of Prophecy magazine. So thanks again to the Secretary for the Taoiseach from Ireland, and I look forward to more acknowledgement receipts.
The Voice of Prophecy, warning the Western world today. At last, the time of God's direct intervention in human affairs is at hand. Mankind, cut off from God since the Garden of Eden, has been deceived by Satan for over 6,000 years. Many believe that given enough time and resources, men and women can solve even their most intractable problems. History and current world affairs would seem to prove otherwise.